Hey, what's up YouTube? This is the Mermail Master, and as promised, I'm coming at you with this sneak peek haul video, showing all the stuff that I was able to pick up during the two sneak peeks that I entered. If you want to check out my report on the sneak peeks, feel free to rush on over to my sneak peek impressions video. But yeah, this is just going to be about the stuff that I pulled and was able to get at the sneak peek. So as you'll notice in the start, I was able to pick up this Dark Illusion playmat. I actually won it in a raffle at Pandemonium. So I was really excited to be able to get my hands on this playmat. And if I sort of zone up here, you're able to see just the really nice looking artwork on Nirvana Paladin there. Very cool looking card and a very cool looking mat. I think whoever designs the mats at Konami does a very good job. So now putting that back down on the tripod, I'm going to show you all of the stuff that I was able to get at the event. So I'm going to start off with the new stuff, and so the first thing that I picked up was the 3 copies of Magical Something. I entered in the sneak peek twice, but I was able to get 3 of these, one of them from a trade. And this is kind of a cool card because it allows you to set a quick play from your graveyard. So for instance, you can set things like an MST or a Twin Twister, or you could also set a card like Draco Face Off, which allows you to get more use out of it. So if you're playing like a Pendulum deck or something like that and you have this on the field, all your Pendulums activate. It's kind of like a magical library of sorts, but it sort of like the upgraded form of the Magical Exemplar, and it's actually a pretty good card. Recycle your face off, recycle pretty much anything you want. So I figured having a playset of that, especially an ultra rare, really nice in case it ever becomes popular in the future. I was able to pick up a copy of Assault Blackwing Onimaru, who is actually the first, I believe, the first generic level 12 monster. 1 tuner and then 1 or 2 more non-tuners. 3000 attack, unaffected by card effects, and if you use synchro monsters to synchro summon with him, his attack is doubled. And he also gets more effects that you can use with summoning, like if you summon him with Blackwing monsters. But for the most part, he is probably one of the best cards that I was able to pick up, probably one of the cheapest around. I was also able to get 1 Blackwing Sohaya and 1 Blackwing, I believe this is Sayo the Rain Hider. Not quite sure. This one's not too good. It's like a spirit wing, but it's low level and not a tuner either. And then Sohaya is also pretty decent. Good card for Blackwing decks and is an Assault Blackwing, so it becomes a tuner. But yeah, cool card with that. And then this was what I was waiting for a long time. Gustav Max is actually one of my favorite XYZs, so being able to pick up Superior Dora was an awesome card. And I'm really happy that they printed all the train stuff in here, that they finally brought it over to the United States, and also that Superior Dora has become a super rare and is not a super hard card to get. So anyone who wants to build like Shadal trains or like some kind of train variant deck can just pick this stuff up really easily. And now, this stuff I actually picked up sort of on accident. I wasn't really aware, but it's the Burgestoma stuff, which was called Paleostozoic. These are all like trap monsters, so I'm just gonna lay them out like right here. I think these are all of them. They're kind of cool cards. I think that they did a really good job with this, making sort of trap monsters that interact with each other and that can really like replace a suite of trap cards in any given deck. And I'm thinking about trying this engine out in possibly like wind-ups or some other different types of deck. There's no real restriction on like synchro summoning with them either, and they all have like cool effects that allow them to be summoned as monsters in addition to having those abilities. And they also have their own XYZ monsters and are super easy to get. So I was really happy to pick up a play set of all of those, and then 2, I think what is it? Anomalocaris. They have very interesting names. I was able to pick up one of the Subterrors, Subterror Behemoth Umastrix. I haven't really looked at its effect yet, but it's a flip monster. And most people are thinking that they're not sure whether or not Subterrors is going to be the dominant TCG archetype, but a lot of their stuff has been printed in Ultra and Secret, so we're just going to have to see where that goes. Now, I wasn't aware this was printed in Ultra, and I've only seen one of these pulled. I managed to pick this up, but it's Block Dragon, and it's actually a piece of rock support. So I'm thinking that you probably run this in Triamids or, you know, some other kind of rock deck. Like you could probably run this in like different types of decks, but like even in like Rock Stun or something like that. But its effect is you activate it by banishing 3 rock type monsters, and then I think let's see, they cannot be rock type monsters cannot be destroyed except by battle, and then if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add up to 3 rock type monsters from your deck to your hand whose total levels equal 8. So you can add like, you know, 2 block golems and then like something else, and then, or you could add like 2 rock stun monsters from your deck to your hand when this dies. So it's a cool way to like get through your deck. I think it's going to be somewhat good later on. Monsters like Dark Armess like that usually are pretty good. We have Premature Return. Now this card, banish 1 card from your hand and then target 1 of your banished monsters and special summon it in face down defense position. It's kind of like the generic card. If you know the card Unicorn Beacon, it's the same thing. Banish 1 card from your, banish 1 beast type monster from your hand and special summon a beast type monster from your banish zone. My friend said this is going to be good in that like Fairy Tale deck, but I think there's probably going to be some like banishing mechanics and like sub-terrors or something like that that would allow you to like better use this card. The next thing I got was I was able to pick up 2 copies of Spiral Super Agent, and this archetype that a lot of people are saying is going to be the dominant TCG archetype because it allows you to really stack your opponent's deck and allow you to, you know, make different types of plays with it. And I'm really looking forward to being able to try this out. And it's got the same like sort of setting as Cosmos do, where it's like ultra rare, 1 ultra rare and then 3 rare cards. So I figured I'd just, you know, this card is one of those things that can only go up with time. So I'm trying to pick up a 3rd Spiral Super Agent and see if I can start building maybe a rough draft of the deck. So that was all my ultra rares. Then moving on to secret rares I was able to pick up. First one is the Forceful Checkpoint. Now, I'm not really sure how I feel about this card. I think this is a TCG exclusive, but it's got like kind of an interesting effect. It's when an opponent's monster declares an attack, negate the attack, and then if they have a monster in their hand, and then you look at their hand and they can discard a random monster. But like, why would you run this over like Quaking Mirror Force or like Drowning Mirror Force? Because both of them require an attack. This one will only negate 1 attack, and then, okay, you discard a monster from your opponent's hand. Like, what if it's like a BA monster or something like that? You know, that monster is still going to be able to get its effect. So, like, while the artwork and stuff is pretty good on this card, I don't really think it's going to see any play at all. And I'd probably rather want to get rid of it a little bit earlier rather than later. Next card I was able to pick up was a secret rare copy of Nirvana Paladin. Now this is a really, really awesome card. A lot of people are underestimating it because you use like 1 Synchro Monster and then 1 Pendulum, but you can also treat that Pendulum as a tuner. And you can see its effect right there. If it's Synchro Summon, of course you can use that, and then you can target 1 card in your graveyard, like any card you want, add it back to your hand. And then if you attack into your opponent's monster and destroy it, then you can have your opponent's life points. When it's also destroyed, it'll be like destroyed. You can destroy things in the Pendulum Zone and place it in there. So its high scale of 8 is pretty good, and it has a nice protection effect as well. So I'm thinking that this might see a little bit of play. I'm guessing that like future Pendulum strategies, it's going to be very easy to pull this out. So I think it's a card to watch out for in the future. And on the plus side, it's Shooting Star Dragon's spiritual successor in terms of attack and I guess also summoning methods. And then the last secret rares that I was able to pick up were 2 copies of Pot of Desires. Now, I was very, very lucky with this. If you watch my other video, you see that I actually pulled one. and then I was able to trade for the other one. I didn't realize how many of these were actually going to get pulled, but I'm going to do a discussion video at some point discussing about Pot of Desires and what I think about the card. I think it definitely requires a lot of skill to be used. It's not one of those like luck-based cards, and I'll explain about that a little bit further, but that's cool. So that's everything that I picked up for the new set, and now going into some stuff that I picked up for, I guess, older sets. So starting first off is Monsieur for the Yokai from Startruck Blast. I've always wanted to own one of these cards, and it's one of them that, like, you know, this can just like, it's like mystical ref panel where it can like shoot up like overnight, and it's sitting around like $3 to $4 right now. So I thought picking up an ulti first one. Really, really cool card. Very hard to find sometimes. So yeah. Cosmo Dark Planet. I actually got this as a throw-in. Remember, I pulled one of these at the Shining Victory sneak peek, and I got rid of it for like 20 bucks. But finally have one of these. I was able to pick up one more ulti Flare Metal Dragon. I honestly think this is one of the most awesome looking ultis of all time, and I'm really, really happy to have this. So that makes 3 Flare Metal Dragons that I actually own now. It's 1 Ghost and 2 ultis. Won't go anywhere near that gold version though. Now getting into some stuff for my prophecies. I picked up a copy of Fool of Prophecy. I'm still trying to figure out like what this card's use is in the deck. You just mill a spellbook to your graveyard, and then at the end phase, and only in the end phase, you get the effect of the Fool of Prophecy, and he can also be Veilered as well. So safe to say, like, he's been a little bit power creep, but I want to do a little bit more testing with him to see what I find. And since I'm on my process of building Reaper spellbooks, I thought I'd pick up 1 copy of Spellbook Library. The Heliosphere it's probably one of the worst spellbooks you can pick up, but it surprisingly has some synergy with Pigeonholing Book of Spells or Spellbook Organization. If you have 5 spellbooks in your graveyard, activate this card and look at the top 2 cards of your deck and add any spellbooks to your hand among them. So the funny thing about this actually is that Spellbook Reorganization allows you to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, organize them in any order you wish, and then place them on the top of the deck. So theoretically, if you activate this, or you activate Spellbook Organization first, mill with that, and then grab this and then activate it, you could theoretically not go -1 or -2. So, I mean, that's just me trying to justify this thing. Spellbook of Life, pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to need 1 more copy of this for the Reaper Spellbook deck, but getting the Spellbook of Life when pretty much nobody has these was really, really good. Picked up a Secret Rare Breaker. I already own 1 copy of this, but I'm looking to try and get a playset. Master Collection 2 was a super rare set, so having this thing is kind of awesome. An ultra rare copy of Magician's Valkyria. I don't know why, but this is like a $7 card now. So, very happy to get that. I think this is a Chocolate Magician deck or something like that. Genex Ally Axel, another one of those Startruck Blast cards is super hard to get. Really odd level for Genexes, but he has a kind of cool effect that allows you to reborn machine-type monsters. Smashing Horn, just for my first Dead Secret collection, but also because this thing gets hyped at random times for no reason whatsoever. It's not even that good, really. It's a very situational card, but hey, good to have. Now getting into the last parts. A super rare copy of Fishborg Blaster. Now, I've been looking everywhere for one of these. When I finally stumbled upon it, I was super, super happy. We have a format back at one of my locals where you can play any one of your decks, and it can have 2 banned cards in there. So my goal is to have Fishborg Blaster and Bryanak Dragon of the Ice Barrier in my Mermails. And I'll see if I can put that in there and do a profile at some point. But very, very cool card to have in super rare. Was able to pick up another Ulti Sphere. Nice card. Looking for 1 more of them. Probably going to do a old-timey Mermail deck at some point. Rank Up Magic Baryons Force. I always love the ultis of the Rank Up Magics. I just think they look really, really awesome. If only this one was first edition, it would go in my collection, but thinking about putting it in a trade binder for now and seeing if there's anyone who might be able to get more use out of it than I do. And then finally, ulti-rare copy of the beginning of the end. Actually take this out of its sleeve so you can see. This is one of my favorite artworks. I don't even know what this is supposed to be, but it looks awesome. It's like kind of like a churchy, like clocky kind of vibe to it. Super cool. So yeah, that was pretty much everything that I was able to pick up at the sneak peek. I really enjoyed going to it, attending, seeing everyone who I knew, and meeting some new people as well. More information coming soon about everything for the Team Time Riders YouTube channel, and this has been the Mermail Master, signing out.